Hello and welcome to Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars.
Hey guys, welcome back. Be sure to check out the show notes at the bottom of this recording because I usually have a lot of cute little tidbits along the way, and you also get to follow me on Instagram at Elizabeth Magical Garden. All the information will be down below. Hi, my name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, welcome back to the podcast. I pray that everybody is well, and I pray that everybody is in great spirits. We have so much to get into. But first, my name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, I am so happy and so honored to be here recording and batching these episodes as I do because, I took a little time off. I needed to catch a breather. I needed to get some Zen moments in. We must practice what we preach as well. So that's what's been going on the home front and just enjoying this cold but blessed weather. How you guys are doing? For those who are in the northern hemisphere, how are you coping with this cold, brisk weather? Currently, the forecast says it's about 8 degrees. 8 degrees, guys. I'm snug with my little vest. Let me tell you something. It's been a task keeping warm. I'm sure that all of us are feeling the same way. We're not bears. We're not bears, so we don't get to hibernate and stay in and cozy, but we do get to do some other things that will allow us to collect ourselves while we acclimate to everything that's been going on in the world. It's been so many things going on. Shout out, we have a new president. Okay, blessings. I don't discuss politics on this channel, but I will say that, it's a new beginning, it's a new start, and I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for many things. So shout out to that. My mom is really big on staying abreast on the current events, and she asked me, did I watch the inaugural moments happening? I didn't watch it as it was happening, but I did get clips when on YouTube, because YouTube will play things over and over again, so I was able to watch it from that standpoint. I'm very hopeful for everything that's going to happen in the current events. I'm really sure that God has his hand on a wheel, so I'm going to leave that right there. So guys, we're in the middle. We're in a crunch part. We're in the middle of the thick of it. It's January 22nd as I record this particular episode, and what came upon me as I was meditating, as I do before I record these episodes with you guys, or for you guys, I should say, because for me, it's not just coming here and expressing the things and sharing the things. I also want to be in alignment with not just only myself, but what I feel that will be able to help the collective, because this is what brings me joy, to know that I am, or I should say, I have created my own space where I'm able to share, help heal, or lead to healing as well. And what came to mind, or I should say what came up, was rest. And like I just said, I took a little time off just to collect myself and really see what I want from this new year, because it's really easy when the year is starting, right? It's like, new year, new me, and that's all good. That's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. But then you get to, just like anything else in life, there's a part where you tend to slow down and things start to go towards the wayside. That's why a lot of people, are reframing nowadays from making resolutions, because in the beginning it's like, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And then somewhere along the line, things get stagnant and then we go back to our old ways. Personally, what I've been noticing is that when you don't allow yourself to have adequate rest, things will definitely fall to the wayside. Things that we actually need, we stop doing. Our goals gets chucked to the wayside, and then we fall back into this mindset that helped us create the list in the first place, right? Think about it. A lot of times when there's a new year, we start to reflect and we start to really be confronted with the things that no longer serves us. And through that, we tend to make these elaborate lists that will able us to achieve those goals. But I find, at least for myself personally, I would get so excited, and then I would compound so many things on that list, right? And at first I'm having a good run, but what I used to not really take serious is rest. And resting is very important in your ability to be a high achiever. Because if you're watching this episode, oh, and by the way, if you would like to see the full episode of this podcast, be sure to check out Elizabeth Magical Garden at Elizabeth Magical Garden Podcast. This is where the full videos resides, only on this platform. Of course, you can go on my blog, which is Elizabeth Magical Garden, where all that I create resides as well. My vlogs everything is on there. So that's the one-stop shop, because I don't want to be, sidetracked. So rest, we don't take that seriously, and for so many things. I know we live in a capitalist country, right? This is the country of the free. This is the country where you can get things done, where big dreams are made. This is where big dreams are made of, right? And that is true, but we're human beings. We're human beings, and being a human being, there are certain things that we need outside of food, shelter, great health. We need rest. And I really am stressing and leaning on this in this particular topic, because on this particular episode, because I feel like it's a good refresh. I have spoken about on numerous occasions in terms of like self-care and why rest is important. And be sure to read my blog post, because I do give a lot of tips that I have researched that is really helpful, that I actually implement into my personal life as well. So be sure to check that out. But when we don't allow ourselves rest, what happens? What happens to the body when we don't get adequate rest? Number one, outside of being tired, right, your mental health gets hit major. Okay. And this is something, unfortunately, that I know all too well personally. There was a time in my life where I actually thought that rest was failure. I thought that if you took too much time to sleep, you were like wasting your time. I used to be on this whole tip, like, rest when you're dead. Really? Like, the things that one believes to be true, especially when you're younger. Not calling myself old, but it's uncanny, and I really feel like ego has a lot to do with it, because like when you're in your 20s, even like early 30s, you're like you're hit, right? You're hitting it. You're powerful. If you in a healthy body, you feel strong, and that can give off a false belief system to where you really don't have to maintain a certain level of rest in order to get things done. And that is so far from the truth. Do not let anybody tell you because you choose to rest that you're like, oh, like you're sleeping again. Famous writers has been known to really, when you look at a writer's regiment, rest is something that they take very seriously. I just finished reading this book by Ernest Hemingway, and it's called the traveling. I'll leave it down below, guys. You already know. I read it a while ago. It was about basically him when he was living in Paris, and him and his wife, was living there. They didn't really have a lot of money. I'm not trying to spoil the book for you just in case you want to get it. But basically, he did a lot of resting, a lot of walking, a lot of observing, and when you allow yourself to be in a mindset of just being free to live life rather than I got to do this, I got to do that, if I don't do this, and getting caught up in the minutia of things, you actually are able to be a better performer. Okay? And this took me a very long time, guys. This is not something that I know that is easy for a lot of people, because like I said, when you are a high achiever, this what I speak can feel like a waste of time. But I'm here to tell you that it's not. Your health is dependent on you having the ability to know when you have to have rest. I know we live in a society where it's like more is more, and that's okay too, but you have to understand, or I should say it's imperative for you to understand that in order for you to maintain and be successful and be in your right mind, right? Because where the mind goes, the body follows. If you don't allow yourself to have adequate, a balanced way of life, how can you achieve anything? How can you maintain, even, let's just say for argument's sake, that you are able to maintain a certain level of sleeping, maybe like only 4 or 5 hours, maybe 4 hours tops, right? On a long run, what you're going to start to find is that a lot of the things that you love is going to no longer have its zest. You're going to lose interest. You're going to lose momentum. Where if not, you will just stop short. This has happened to me so many times, guys, because I didn't allow for rest. Because, enthusiasm can get you a long way. When you get fired up and you get excited about that new thing, about that new adventure, yes, you're going to feel like, you can go forever in the same way, but that is so far removed from the truth, guys. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. If you are on that tip, honey, stop. Okay. Because, God gives grace, right? We see, for instance, a parent, a mother, She has a kid, she goes to work, she comes home, she cooks, she cleans, she take care of the homework, she does all the things, right? All the things that's needed to have a well-rounded home. I'm just, for argument's sake, right? If you study her, after a while, right? After a while, this woman is not going to be the best person to come to ask her anything if she doesn't get a certain amount of rest, if she doesn't take time to take care of herself. We all need love. We all need a sense of caring, if not only for yourselves. I understand that it's not the easiest thing to do, especially when you are a mother. Shout out to all the mothers out there. I know it's not Mother's Day, but it's always Mother's Day over here. Okay? It's not easy. It's not easy whether you have your kids with you or not, because even if you're a traveling mother, or there's a situation where your kids, you're always thinking a parent does not stop being a parent, right? Because you are with or you're not with your kids. If anything, one would say that you think you're thinking even more about your children when they're not with you. So where's the escape? So I say this all to say, take time for yourselves, guys. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It may feel like it. This is something that I continuously say to myself. I actually want to read a little quote from you guys. So, sidebar, I've been heavily into poetry. I know. Now, personally, I have always seen myself as a poet. And, but now I'm taking it a little more seriously. I am working on a couple of projects. But, with that being said, doing some research, and next thing you know, I went down a rabbit hole, child, just listening to different poets. But of course, one of my tops is Maya Angelou. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? So there's one quote. Well, I'll read a quote of hers right now. It says, "A woman's heart should be so hidden in God that a man has to seek him just to find her." Okay? I'm going to read that again. A woman's heart should be so hidden in God that a man has to seek him just to find her. Now, I just explained in terms of like the deepness of like a mother and the things that she do, and what happens if she doesn't get rest. Now, there's so many different ways that you could interpret this particular poem. Now, of course, like the main thing, which is, okay, if a woman's virtue, her relationship with God, the creator, regardless of what you believe in, right? Her spiritual aspect, he has to be in turn, has a certain amount of self understanding. And I believe self-understanding is your relationship with God, because once you seek the creator, right, you find yourself, right? And with that being said, I personally really believe that any relationship, not just like a man and woman relationship, a business relationship, a friendship, the relationships that really works, in my humble opinion, especially a business relationship, really works when the person or the people that are in agreement with one another has an ability to know their boundaries. And I feel like a lot of times, especially for the young ones, it's relationships are very complicated because people are complicated, right? And this is why rest really came up for me, because a lot of times we're not able to hear ourselves from within because we're so exhausted. How can you make any sound decisions? How can you determine who and what is good for you when you are not able to know what is good for yourself? You're not being good to yourself. Not resting, not knowing when, okay, so I work from X, Y, and Z. I need to take a long bath. I need to make sure I have decent food in the refrigerator. What am I eating after this? What do I have clean sheets? These are really simple things, but these are really big things. Sometimes the simplest things are the greatest. It doesn't have to be that complicated. And the reason why I'm really breaking it down as simplified as I am doing right now is because these things done consistently opens a whole new world for you guys. I kid you not. For instance, like I have really I have really made it a point to walk. Now, I know I have spoken about walking. I believe the last episode before this, I believe, was me outside walking, and I took you guys along with me, right? Because for me, walking is healing. Outside of exercise, walking is healing. I get a lot of insight from within myself. I personally feel because I am immersed in nature, I'm able to feel God's presence more prevalently in my life, which in turn allows me to create on a deeper level, right? And that to me is self-love. That to me is rest, right? Walking away from all the things that is is waiting for me to take care of, right? Sometimes you got to walk away from everything. Sometimes you got to walk away from the kids, from the fur babies. I don't even want to talk about the fur babies because, I have a cat and a dog, which I love so much. And I cannot make up the shenanigans in the morning. I can't. Okay. But nonetheless, even with that being said, I have to claw myself away just to get some rest at times. And these are fur babies. Imagine human beings. Whether you are a doctor, a lawyer, a business owner on any scale, you work someplace, you have to still understand that, listen, this is my time. This is my time. Let me give you a little, let me give you a little insight of what my life used to be when I worked a physical job. Number one, okay, I was blessed to have a job, right? Listen, regardless of what, it's a blessing. At that time, that's where my life was. And it got to a point where I would have to go hide. I kid you not. I would have to go hide on my lunch hour just to have peace of mind. Because when I say everybody, I mean everybody would swarm around me, talking and want to talk to me. Now, I don't mean to come off pretentious, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to come off like, oh, like everybody was just around me, but that was a real thing that I dealt with. I believe I just have this energy where it's like people tend to gravitate to me, and although it's endearing, but it's always 90% overwhelming for me, which is so weird, but it is. So I had to make it a point to find different it sounds crazy, but I used to have to find different exits that only I knew to be able to have a little lunch. Sometimes I ate in the dark. Yeah. Sometimes I ate in the dark, guys. It's a real thing. It was a real thing. Praise God. It's no longer. But this is the lengths that I was willing to take, just to take a little time, just to set my mind back, just to recalibrate. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do in order to do what you have to do, if that makes any sense. So, guys, I really hope that this January, okay, this 2025 finds you in a space of not only great health and wealth and prosperity, but in sound mind. Take responsibility for your mental health. We cannot afford you or anybody leaving their mental health in somebody else's hands. Because let me tell you something. If you're sitting here assuming or thinking that, oh, they're going to notice that I'm overwhelmed. They're going to notice that I am exhausted. They're going to leave me alone today. They're going to notice that, they have been coming to my desk too much. I'm here to break that for you and tell you absolutely not. Matter of fact, they're waiting for you right now. Okay. They're not going to do that. You know why? Because until you open your mouth or set strong boundaries, this will continue in your life. Those late phone calls, that girlfriend that likes to call at the last minute, she knows you go to bed early. You think she doesn't know you go to bed early? You told her. How many times did you tell her or him that, listen, I have a meeting tomorrow, or I get up really early in the morning. I don't accept phone calls after a certain time. And just when you get snugged and you get in your bed, what do you hear? Ring. Don't pick up. Let me tell you something. People are going to have to get into their feelings this 2025. And it's okay. That is not your responsibility. I heard a quote one time. I don't remember who said it, but it's short. It says, like, if you like me, it's not my business. If you don't like me, it's none of my business. I'm putting it in my own words, but basically that's what it is, because I feel like we get guilt tripped for having to be there for others when our cup is already empty. And I feel like anybody that is asking that of you, you may want to take a step back and see, what that relationship is really about. Because anybody that respects you and cares for your well-being will understand. Yeah, maybe they might feel a little salty. Not, who likes to hear no? No one likes to hear no. But if a person respects you, they'll understand because you're speaking your truth. Guys, I am so happy to be back. Be sure to check out all the information down below where you can get the link straight to this video if you would like to see my lovely face. And also be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel for this podcast. It's slowly but surely growing, and all the information will be down below. All the things that I create resides on my website at Elizabeth Magical Garden, so be sure to stay tuned for that and any goodies that will come up in the future. Guys, stay blessed, stay in peace, and stay empowered. Peace.
Hey guys, leave a comment, a review, preferably 5 stars. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram, because what is popping over there? And also check out my YouTube channel to stay connected and see your girl's lovely face. Guys, I love you so much. Keep on pushing, and I'll definitely speak to you soon. Be blessed.